morning. It's September 16th,
17.
2025. Water meeting of the district commissioners of the Grafton Water District on the 7:50. I'll call the meeting to order. Ken Drew and myself, Bob Frederico, are here. Mike Core is late. He will be here eventually. We're going to take the agenda a little bit on order. Let's start with the minutes of August.
Okay, we'll approve the minutes of August 12th, 2025.
Second, discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Aye. Yeah. Appointments? Right. Okay, treasurer report.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so the August report, we had an opening balance of $2,110,000. We had receipts of $529,000. We had disbursements of $360,000. So we had a closing balance of $2,279,000. Page 2. This fiscal year ending 8/31. Revenue $1,180,562 to last year's $748,424. Operating expenses $436,227 to $537,022. Interest income $7,125 to last year's $16,312. Net income $751,460 to last year's $227,714. Water revenue only $850,996 to last year's $728,624. Connection fees $30,000 this year, last year $11,000. 3M settlement $268,524 to last year's $0. Page 3. System improvements year to date spent $55,840 out of the $325,000. Vehicle 0 out of the $75,000. Driveway paving 0 out of the $50,000. Foliot Street well pump 0 out of the $50,000. Pigeon Hill tank booster $1,902,533 out of the $2 million. Engineering future PFAS treatment plant $657,516 out of the $625. Professional services Power Line Drive and Foliot Street $13,427 out of the $50,000. Worcester Street East SRF $1,329,474 out of the $33 million. Trinity Foliot SRF $166,477 out of the $33,928 million. That's a big number. Page 4. Cash accounts. MMDT $1,878,613. Depository $253,939. UniPay $33,884. Payroll $17,630. Debit card $6,226. Vendor $89,301 for a total of $2,279,592. And then we have the OPEB reserve $689,920. So we have a total cash of $2,969,512.
Thank you. Hope you accept the treasurer's report. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. No district councils correspondence. Plan 11. You would see to old business none. New business none. Single family application none. Active subdivisions just gave a quick look through. Really changed. Right. How big is the line going in? Yes. Yeah. How many eight? No. How many don't check? How many square feet is the,
Oh, I don't know. Matt, you know the square foot of the building again, or UPS off the top of your head?
You're on mute.
What's that?
The square footage of UPS building again, you know, the off the top of your head?
Oh.
One?
God, it's like, I don't know, 800,000 square feet. It's like 9 or 10 acres under roof, something crazy,
800,000?
something like that. Yeah.
And
That's a-
he's saying 880. I'm just wondering because when we did, the Amazon warehouses of the North Road, 330 each. The line going in was 12-inch.
Is it 12 for that one too?
Yeah. And the fire suppression system is broken up, I think, into 8 separate zones, I believe. Their water consumption for domestic use is very small.
Right.
I talked to a couple of people in the Northborough Water Department about their usage for some of their plants. And was only like 3,000 or 4,000 gallons a day.
Yeah, it's the domestic side is very small in comparison.
Yeah.
Just public, typically the sprinkler area is 25,000 square feet. For each riser, you know, and I know there's a pile of risers. But, you know, I was just wondering.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. About the SPC report.
Okay, yeah, I can talk about that. I'm going to briefly go over some stuff, and then Adam's going to fill in some of the critical things. So our plant updates, we did go to bid for Worcester Street. We got a number on that, and we're going to request that the board authorize an award to Winston Builders. I talked to the engineers about Trinity Ave, Follette Street, you know, treatment plant, and we're looking at designing the water main pretty soon and maybe going out to bid this winter on that. It'll be a separate project from the treatment plant. There's not a lot of water main jobs out there, so the contractors are hungry for those, so we might get a decent price. So we're gonna get some estimates from the engineering firm and a proposal for construction administration and bidding, and that'll probably be a month from now, a couple of months probably. Got a survey plan finally done for the Follette Street field area, so we got that to the engineers so they can start doing a site plan layout. Once we get an idea of where the building and everything will go, then we'll start the process with conservation and fish and wildlife, because it is a critical habitat area, and the planning board. So that'll be over the next, 4 to 6, 7 months. We're not anticipating even starting that building for probably a year or 2, year and a half. We have a construction agreement for tie and bond for the administration of the construction of Worcester Street. Adam will be requesting that you vote to authorize Dave and him to sign that and get that over to them. And then we met with Unibank with Wendy and Adam, I don't know, last week before, to talk about short-term borrowing, the SRF funding process. And so they're aware of our numbers. We can get them a final number now that we've got the bid for Worcester Street in. So they're on board with what we're doing, and Adam and Wendy will be spearheading that, and I'll be in the background, keeping an eye on things. So that's about all I got, and then Adam will do the specifics for you guys to sign, and just make sure we get some votes on these critical issues. So
Yeah. Let's right. So Matt, you're basically done with the exception of the votes needed, but Adam's gonna work with us on, right?
Yep.
Okay. Just for the note, my quarter is here. 1. Sorry, wait. That's okay. We did a lot of the easier mundane stuff. So we have all 3 of us when it comes to correspondence. Okay. What? So I'm gonna move over to, correspondence. Okay, Sue Pollinger is here. And she was here at our last meeting, which wasn't a meeting because there was no quorum. So, that's Ken wasn't here last time. If you could
Sure.
just let us know what's going on.
It's my phone to reiterate what I said last week. I received my water bill. And I just was shocked because it said second note. Fine, whatever. And I never received the bill. Didn't put it aside and forget about it. I never received it. And I understand that the mail goes through many channels. Mail from here goes to Boston, goes to the local post office, goes to the carrier. Now, it could have happened here. I'm not saying it did, but it could have happened in any one of the channels. They can't be ruled out. If you look at my payment history, I have never had a late fee. I've always paid on time, well before the due date. So I'm here today at 7:45 twice to respectfully request a waiver. Now, if I come back in 3 months and say I didn't get my bill, then I can understand that obviously I'm gonna have to do other avenues when I don't get it in the mail to make sure when the bill is supposed to be sent. So I'm just here to ask for a waiver this time.
Well, how much was the late fee?
Bill is $10 plus 2%.
It happened. The mail or the mail sometimes. Well, the mail is the mail. But if her record showed that she pays all the time, the one miss.
So our policy has been, since I've been here, that to waive a late fee, people are given the option to sign up for auto pay through Unipay. And once auto pay is, and so that has been our policy that's how we waive penalty.
Yeah, I'll just chime in for a second. In the past, before we came up with this last policy, which was about a year or two ago, if somebody didn't have a history of late fees, we would waive that initial fee, and we would only do it once. The reason we went to the process of asking the people to sign up for Unipay was to get more people to do that and prevent late fees. So just a little history on the past.
One of the questions I have is, if the tax bill to your house gets lost in the mail, you're still responsible for it.
But I'm cognizant because they're sending the bill twice. So for two quarters. So that would not have to happen.
If you get your electric bill lost in the mail, you are still responsible for it. I'm just trying to play the other side of the coin.
Right.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
I understand what you're saying, but those are monthly, so you're more cognizant of that. But if quarterly, it's a little more fuzzy. Obviously, if I don't get my electric bill, I know, like, for example, my medical insurance, if I don't get that by the 15th, I know. As far as the cable, I know I get that early in the month. So I'm more cognizant because it's monthly. But when it's quarterly, it gets a little more. And again, going forward, I can understand. It's not said a one-time thing. And I really don't want to do auto pay. I'm right here in town. I just immediately paid the bill. In fact, when I got the late fee, I immediately paid it.
Right.
I just went right down. So I understand. It's like Matt said, a one-time thing. Like, I obviously not going to come again and say I never got it in the mail. But
How long have you been paying water fees?
I lived in town all my life.
You view the past history, I guess as well, waive all the fees and just all explain. Not gonna happen again.
One time. Yep, one time. I will side with you, but this party still says you're still responsible for it. You have taken responsibility for it. So it's going to look against policy. And we get for everybody who's the envelope of the mail. Whether it's when we send the bills out or when you send the check in the mail and it doesn't come to us.
But I always pay it, but I understand what you're saying.
You're saying,
Yeah.
given the fact that the U.S. Postal Service It is run like the government. I'm inclined to agree with you, but I'm skeptical. Yeah,
Okay, let's move it then.
okay. Motion,
We waive the fees.
okay, second? Sure. All right, all in favor? Aye. Aye.
How will that happen on, will it just be deducted from my last bill? How will that work?
It'll, if you already paid the penalty, it'll just be a credit going to the next bill.
Oh, okay.
Don't water your lawn.
Irrigation, I didn't even wash my car. Are they gonna lift that, I know you said before that may not be till October maybe, or,
Well, something we haven't discussed yet, but we do have to come up with a date for the water ban, okay? Now, remember, the water ban is required from the state.
right,
okay?
you went.
Because we're building the PFAS plants and because we're adding more output from the Paulette Street well. We just can't pump willy-nilly. We are obligated to pump only what is allowed. To get the special permit to increase it, we had to come up with a water ban. Since the situation that we're in involves plumbing in the streets, PFAS facilities, I recommend we keep this water ban in effect until those plants are up and running.
I can't wash my car. What? I know.
They recycle their water and their water usage in terms of how many gallons used per car is way lower, believe it or not, than if you were to do it in your own home.
One question you guys before I go, the new apartment house is going on 140
Yeah.
across from the fire department.
Yeah.
Is the water department, have they done anything there, any foundation for because I know when they did the highway,
The only thing
Not
that,
the water,
only thing that was,
but-
the only thing that was done was the stub and whether it was water and floor, that would be my thing.
that have anything to do with the building that's gonna be going there?
Well, I mean, they have to, yeah, I mean, the stubs are there for whatever their future
Yeah.
plans are, but
Fortune. I just wanted to give you guys know, well, I guess the latest thing, I mean, the cleanup. The China did become, the town has to do, and how much they have to do.
That's not a water district issue.
No, I'm just saying that out there. This has nothing to do with you guys.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to let you guys instructions.
We don't always get your early notices on regarding.
We were lucky with this one, we knew of it as well, so that's why we are also paving it. They wanted to pave it, so that probably said, called up the company, said, if you really want to move forward with this, get off the road. Because you won't be able to reopen that road for 5 years if you don't. So that's why the stuff that Mike was saying are in there for water and sewer. So they're basically off the road and they can connect to it from there, and so they don't have to vacate the new house.
Did that cost money from the water department to put the stump in and the one?
not a lot.
It does it, who's the who?
The building contractor is over.
All the ones who are gonna buy the apartment. Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
That's where that, we're in final soil remediation agreement for that, the whole clean earth.
Hang on a second.
Accurate.
You said extra water to
Fine. The soil remediation should be close, like we're finalizing, working to finalize that agreement, and then hopefully it'll move, but it'll expedite the process, so, and we'll get like equipment in the ground this year. Yep,
Get that one.
It's all good.
I just wish they would have done something in South Grafton. That beautiful park, if you're looking at that, that's the cost. Nothing in the heart of the old mill.
unfortunately, a lot of privately owned, so it's the railroad,
They don't want to down the.
prices are way up.
Bob, what's up next?
Want some.
Come on, as it needs. Let's move on.
Thank you so much. I appreciate meeting all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But
You're the only one.
straight, out the door. Get lost in water district offices. 18 Vincent Road. I haven't read this yet. Give you a quick second. They're basically to appeal the written warning that we found there issue. once we have, if we set the written warning, we have some sort of evidence that it was water. Right? Outdoor water ban has created many challenges with additional expenses. That's true for everybody. We all have to do our part. Supplement the lawn treatments. I get some harsh, but it's not my responsibility. So he's taking the appropriate things, mowing the 4 inches. Okay.
Yeah, I think one of his arguments was that, and Adam can correct me, but what Dave told me was we didn't actually see him watering, but
Right.
we saw water, or they saw water, not we, but they saw water, his lawn's green, his usage is way up. So it's, so there was a written warning and he wants it appealed because he said we don't have any evidence of him watering, so.
We can actually, if you'd like, you can combine this with a couple of the things, already the superintendent's report regarding the water ban update and all of that. And for instance, we've already talked about the water ban update, and trying to, get a vote to increase the time on it. What we want, our recommendation is at least for 2 years. I do agree with you that until the plants are built, we can't have a date in the back to fly them. But to leave it open-ended is also an opportunity as well, before we go there. Then continuing with that is, if we do extend it, I mean, we're extending it, so we're not stopping it. And starting over, we are extending. So we're looking at the warnings and the fees that we've already put out there. We would like to keep those in place. So that means, but also looking at that is for this particular instance, we talk about, yes, we have a picture of obvious usage, even though it's not seen that they have the sprinkler system that was running. I believe I am the one that took the picture. I fully believe that you drive it 10 days straight, and the next thing you know, you get, half moons on the asphalt, you can tell.
At 5 a.m.
Yeah, yes, also at 5 a.m. It's not like we're going out in the middle of the day. We can get up early for this. And then, yes, you can also see on their water use, which is another thing that we wanted to bring up too. Again, like all of these things that we're finding now, there are so many people out there that are still using. And we can completely tell just because of their use.
Well, they're changing their timers.
Exactly. Yeah. And I've gotten up extra early at 3 o'clock and cut even a few more. But, so there's things to that extent that we're obviously with this. So we wanted to keep that all going. So we figured this would be an answer, a good answer. And this is just a warning. It's not an actual fine. And I do believe that we found others like this and still issued a warning, but not a fine on it because we did actually.
Well, it's the procedure will be set up is a warning letter first.
Yep.
Okay. And then if that isn't adhered to, then we initiate fines.
Yes.
Okay. This was a warning.
Mhm.
And they want us to.
You know, letter states that, yeah, if you're reading this letter.
He wants us to stop citing him, not to fine him, and to let them use water when everybody else was in the water ban.
I know.
In a nutshell, yes.
No, well, I can understand you got a classic car, put in the garage.
Well,
This other stuff,
yeah, I mean, and the thing is, you can always, if you do have a classic car, you can go to a commercial place where you can hand wash your vehicle and use the recycled water. Okay, I mean, I know a lot of people that have classic cars, and you keep them clean, you keep them in a relatively debt-free environment, and we do have to wash it. There's plenty of commercial places that use less water. He's also talking about extended money spent on the lawn. I'm sorry, I can't help you. I mean, that's,
yeah, and how, you drive around town, how many of these commercial lawn people you see?
a lot.
And they're all taking care of these lawns and they're all saying you gotta water, but yeah.
No.
So why is he special?
No, anything you want to contribute, Mike?
Yeah, I agree with your son. I mean, I want to classic cars and water looks great to clean. I mean, and not really taking your classic cars out in the rain anyway. So that argument is, out the window as far as I'm concerned. And again, it's a warning, and water meters 99% of the county non-agricultural rights by the time don't lie. And if you lose all that water is either going into the lawn or on the cars, or if it's going to have to leak somewhere. So I'm saying we have it with warning letter, and, obviously if the usage goes down for the next reading, then, that'll be a telltale also. So, right?
In that case, how about
It won't be this reading, it would be the.
Yeah, because we actually went out and had a reading.
So what I'm saying is that I feel that this letter should stick it out for one.
I'll take a motion to reject the request.
Don't move.
That's echo.
All in favor?
To continue with
Water
that,
use went up.
to continue with, the water ban, your thoughts on extending it, the warning, the fines, and also looking at when we do see people sending, what we're looking at is to send a warning because of irrigation or because of meter usage, correct, Walter?
Both.
Well, I mean, irrigation is obvious, that's separate, because I believe that's handled by the letter. And then the obvious usage that we can tell that people have in the past, and we're looking at what they've done in the past, what they have now. And then, of course, what they use over the winter and stuff like that, when your irrigation systems are doing well. Thoughts on those two, which are the top two things I read superintendent.
Nope, like I said before, I'm willing to extend the water ban, at least for the completion of the PPAP. Okay, whenever that is, we're gonna leave that open-ended. Because we don't know when for sure that date. Okay, if we have to go through this process, we're all in this together until those plants are online. So I would prefer to keep the, would say we will revisit the water ban at the completion.
Making that a motion.
Yeah,
One second.
right. Favor?
And I,
We got, so we just write this down, so we're, open-ended,
Just make sure that not only individual notice, but also post in the post office.
Yeah.
Up the town hall, wherever.
So with that being said, we do currently have 2,700 emails in all accounts. We're going to send out a email to anyone that has an email address in our system.
Yeah.
With the notification, with an attachment of the water ban as the whatever determined, because that's another point on the revision of the actual water ban.
Yeah.
So we're gonna send that email out to anyone that has an email address, as well as keeping in mind that as it was before, it will continue to be on the water bill. It has been,
be on the website.
yeah, it's on the water bill.
It's just not on that board right now because we're in the middle of flushing, but it will be put back on that board.
Once flushing is complete, it will be at the top of the website. Like it was prior, it'll be on the board at Worcester Street. And we are also posting the commissioners meetings on Grafton TV, at which time you guys are speaking about it also.
So with that, obviously we extended the ban with that vote, but we didn't talk, what about the warning and fines? So because we're extending it, so they're gonna stay active.
Yes.
And then also the usage on the irrigation meters that we find when we do our meter reading, are we able to give those warnings, fines if we see that happen multiple times?
Yeah.
Yeah. That pretty much sums up the water ban. Anybody have any other questions on that? Will we move on? Move on. All right, lead and coppers been done. We were samples and all the report and everything were sent out to VDP yesterday. Everything is fine with the lead and coppers. Everything's looking very good, even the schools. As you can see, also, we have started flushing. We are in week 2.
Can I pause for 1 second? Just as a FYI, also with our lead and copper, we did get confirmation from the DEP that our service inventory has been accepted, that we have no lead in service lines. That actually Sharon had, that's how long it took.
Excellent.
I had worked with the
I'm flushing is going to start it. We're in week 2 of typically 6 weeks. We are working diligently. We are not working at night, but we have open-ended it to the guys that, if you're close to ending a street or ending an area, let's finish that to continue on, even if it is a few hours past our typical time frame of a working day, which has been working good. We'll continue down here. Fine for turning water on and off, something that's going to require a vote if you'd like to. So we have been finding a lot of curb stuff and people starting to eat hydrants. That's 150 as well. So that's,
Yes.
so this is a combination of the two, which will end up what we could change the world with reg. Of $150 is what it is currently. We are finding a lot of people are request a hydrant meter. And we find it next thing we drive by, not on anymore. So they've shut the hydrant off, they removed the meter and something. We've also found even people where we shut off the curb stop, and next thing we return back around and it's back on when we go to shut it off again. And so we're looking to increase that fine from 150 to 500.
Question. This seems to be a situation where it's not a repeated incident. It's a one-time deal. Because it's not hydrant, it's not like somebody watering the lawn where it's the same voltage. It's a perpetrator, if you will.
Well, yeah, but you do get some of the same companies that do request these.
Okay, I guess my point is, should we think about sending out warnings or just go straight to the fine?
Well, I think, if somebody's coming in here for a meter on a hydrant, we should be presented to them at that point. Oh, and by the way, if you do shut this off, the authorization to turn it on, or whatever the word it will be.
There actually is that they sign something that is stated that you are not supposed to be touching the meter. Granted, if something blew up, totally different story, but so if you have emergency, obviously a second. But we have found 4 right now that have been all of a sudden not on or moved. For instance, one was literally moved. They shut another one on.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, go straight to the front, we go right to the bucket. There should not be a warning on that.
Okay, you want to raise it to $500?
That's what we're asking.
Okay, let's change the vote.
As long as they know up front that if they, that's the equipment.
Yeah, we have created with the first couple of issues that we had, now we have when they do ask to do a meter, we have a write-up that explains everything.
Did they sign it?
They have not, we haven't had them sign it.
Okay.
But we've made sure that they have it.
I would
when they-
recommend.
Them signing it. But yes, they have also been told as well, when they're calling.
Yeah.
We've also, when they're calling for the meter, I have told everyone, this is what we do. They'll come out, they'll install the meter, give them different options, because the other thing is that, we're going to have different options because November 1st comes into possible freeze time. So anyone going in is going to have different options at that point, because they'll need to either get a heated box, and so they're also told all of the things when they call for a meter.
Yeah, we don't recommend putting them in.
The reason why I like the signature, that was the income. Say, well, we don't have a goal.
Yeah.
Okay, especially if there's no warning involved, this is your warning when you pick up the permit, or come in and do
Yeah.
paperwork for that installation. Okay, this is your warning.
Yep.
Okay, so if they sign up and acknowledge it, that means we have it if there's a problem.
Yep. We'll have them sign it.
If we turn to the green.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, we got that.
Before you make your motion or anything or vote on it, that is strictly what we're discussing with hydrant. Curb stops is a different story in a way, because we have, like you said, an individual home, so more often than not, it would be like the same person as well. So if you want to make, we can separate this as a vote if you wanted to do hydrants as one thing and curb stops as another. I just wanted to,
But we keep them defined, right?
that, we're asking for it to be as well, be 500 now.
Because we've actually found a few houses with that issue.
What happens when we let the turn it off? So for instance, we just did shut offs on Monday, okay, and we did shut someone off, and on Tuesday, we found them on.
No.
This was the house that burnt down on Creeper Hill. We did shut it off, right? When that fire happened, and when we went there, they were on the shut off, we actually found it off. It is now back off, but they paid, I voted now,
Yeah, but they haven't called to be turned back on yet,
so they probably, if we had over there, they probably turned it back on themselves.
because we need to get into the household.
Yep.
To turn it
Yep.
on.
The big issue here is, both with the hydrants and the curb boxes, is people are taking and using specialized equipment that they know better and turning the water on. We can't account for the water. If they screw up a hydrant because they don't use it correctly, I mean, a lot of these guys don't have hydrant wrenches, so they're using pipe wrenches. They're rounding over the nuts. It's costing us hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to fix a hydrant that they may have not shut off properly, or never mind if they move a hydrant, we don't know if they put the meter back on the other hydrant before they used it. And so I think it's just time to bump these fees and with the price of water.
Let's do. We can combine, both the curb, residential, commercial curb stops and we'll have it all in one motion. Okay, yeah. Done. So I recommend raising for fee from 150 to 500 on residential and commercial curb stop, and on water meters that are attached to hydrant for that. Like,
Okay, all in favor? Both, done.
all right,
We get over to the treatment plant, and some other votes. Storage tank cleaning is gonna be happening in late October. Which is actually a perfect timing for us right after pretty much flushing should be done around there. But before there, so we're not having to worry about it. We get a quick update there. Truck bid. So we did get 3 votes on the truck bid. And then maybe before we go through that, Al, can I just say one thing and let me ask? If we're gonna go back to the curb stops and hydrants, if we're gonna ask for the signed agreement, does that have to be voted on also? Going back to the school.
That's administrative procedure that they can take care of. They don't need us.
I'm gonna word it on the minutes as is.
Just in the minutes, just make sure that there's a point of discussion that would be done. And
Yep.
it would be handled internally.
We'll make sure the minutes state that as well.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we can add a real quick vote on it, but that needs to be done. Oh, just an administrative thing.
I mean,
Yeah.
with what I do, I'll ask for a signed affidavit, that doesn't have to go chain your law. It's just this administrative, like,
Yeah, sorry.
No, not a problem. Thank you. So, back to the truck bids, we did get 3. I called each individual one of these, to make sure that everything that we did ask for would be perfectly clear in the written part of it. Everything that we asked for regarding our respects is all included in all 3. We got one from McGovern with a 2026 GMC, one from Durand with a 2025 GMC, and one from CME Colonial with 2026 Chevy. And speaking with Dave and the operators as well, getting their opinions on this, because they'll be the ones that jumping around. None of these vehicles will be blue. Fortunately, we did not make any of them in blue, so they're all the same colored silver gray, like what I was told. The low bidder was CMG Colonial in a 2026 Chevy. The second one was the McGovern of a 2026 GMC. The difference in cost is about $2,000. What we thought about when we talked about this, we can't keep the color blue. We all like the GMC and everything, and it's actually kind of easier to maintain. We wanted to actually give our recommendation to award it to McGovern. Prices, if you would like to know, for Colonial was $49,783.50. For McGovern was $51,727. And for the third one, for Duran, which being that both of those first two were 26, so it's a year older or newer, I should say. The Duran was 2025. That was the highest bid of 56,719. So that's why we at least went with McGovern, because we're like, hey, more, obviously a newer vehicle, and we get, you know, in a way, a newer vehicle, and yet $2,000 we thought feasible with everything that was already on.
McGovern closest this August, yeah.
And we're still, we're getting much more.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and the Durand obviously, is out in Leominster, and Colonial is Uxbridge.
No.
But one,
One way to go for DR.
yes,
What would you like to do?
then you need a vote on which one you guys would be okay with us giving the recommendation to McGovern. And you have the numbers on all three. Durand is, just so you all know, that's the one we bought, Dave's vehicle, my vehicle, and Will's vehicle from.
And overall,
And those are all GMC. The reason why they are all, Durand doesn't actually have access to the state fund or whatever it is, the state, the big thing, yeah, I'm sorry, thing. That's why theirs is a little higher.
so keeping things streamlined and, with the fact that, you know, we have all GMCs right now, you keep going to one dealership for and they're me, and I recommend that and select it, got $1,757.
Down, we'll take a vote. All in favor? Aye. Great.
And then not sure that. No. Looking and clear.
We'll send out a letter and everything for that. Let's see, that's like looking in bank borrowing, and let's talk now about the PFAS plants and the bid opening. So as Matt did mention, I received a letter to award the contract to Winston Builders for Worcester Street. And you add everything together, the total cost between all the sub bids and the general contractor, it comes out to $19,991,378. I have paperwork here that you guys can take a peek at. I literally got it this morning, so I can bring everybody up a copy in a little bit. Like, but we do agree with what Ty and Bond has done. They've been phenomenal for us right now. We do look to actually award to Winston Builders, recommend to award them as well. Let them move forward to what we get this. That is for Worcester Street plant only. That would be underneath the 23 million for the SRF funding that we have.
On the next one.
Unfortunately, no. But I agree, we can find things, find two things. And of course, there's gonna be extra, but, you know, it is what it is.
Now, is this for the complete plant, I mean, building, the infrastructure, the mechanicals and the chemical systems and the plumbing on the interior as well?
Yeah.
Okay. What about things like computer rooms, writing equipment?
Correct.
All included. What about contingency? Was there?
Is a contingency on there?
Yeah, God.
Matt, can you chime in on the contingency part, please? You're on mute.
Yeah, that's in that 19 million, the contingency of, and plus the engineering costs and construction administration. So the 19 is basically the 95% best effort and guess of what the total project will be. Obviously, there might be change orders and there might be negative change orders depending on what we do as we go along. So
It's been a while since I've seen one of those. That's why I'm asking about
The negative change order?
yeah, there's $1.5 million of contingencies. The base bid was 15 million and change. Construction administration and bid, you know, all of that is 1.9. There's 60,000 for testing services of concrete and soils. And then another design services of 900,000 for a total of 19.9.
And obviously they've included the permitting fees, right?
Yeah, the town has waived the fees on our agreement that we came to.
Oh, really? Nice.
So the only fee that we would have is anything that would be a state fee, like that the town doesn't have control over, but that would be very minimal.
Okay.
So yeah, we need just basically a vote to award to Winston Builders. And I think that's about it, Adam, right?
Need a separate award, a separate vote too for the proposal for construction from Ty and Bond.
Oh, yeah, the construction agreement, we'd need to have them a vote for that. So 2 separate votes.
You said,
I know this is a stupid question, but are we paying prevailing wage?
Of course. Yeah, that's
I thought you knew that question.
We wouldn't be able to sneak that through if we tried.
Okay, fine.
That's basically.
Winston Builders is only prevailing wage.
Yep.
They only bid on stuff for prevailing.
And we did get, when we did open these bids, Winston Builders, also is looking to, they gave a very good price, and they're also really pushing hard to also get these. Yeah, so it'd be nice if that can happen. Obviously, we'll see what the bid state, but we can't make that happen.
Yeah, the second low bidder was $1.9 million over the 15, so that was a lot left on the table.
And with that, like I said, there's the construction bid from Ty and Bond, they were not bid, but their construction agreement that with them is included, their 1.9 is included in this authorization for award for the whole project. That is for them with everything that they're going to provide on site, inspections, the plans at the end, and everything done. So we get as-built, all of that stuff, your basic construction plan. I did go through that with Dave with a fine tooth comb, and we kind of figured everything out. Our only really concern and gripe was they really need to be there every single day for some, like, hey, they're taking trees down with dual mist. They're doing that for like a couple of days. And so we will supplement that on our end. But, Dave and I talked about it being on site. If we have to be there all day, get laptops, but I don't really foresee that, Kotlin stuff. So
And
that way we let that a little bit.
the low bid contractor is actually the contractor that was awarded the Worcester Street well station. So, and they've done, I think they did the Follette Street station for us. So and he actually lives in town.
Local construction like.
I got one more question. We have to hire an OPM for this?
There is yes, there is a, it's only a partial one because of the price, the total dollar amount. So there will be a cost to that. I think that's between 30 and 60,000.
Okay.
And I think that's mainly to go over the plans before they're submitted to the building inspector and make sure that they were constructed per the plan.
What about a clerk of the works?
That's the inspection guy that will Ty and Bond will have, so.
Okay.
Yeah. Like your final, you said you can have copy.
The kind of dumper.
I did let everybody know we were in the uni bag. If I won the Powerball at the time, I would have helped pay for it, but they needed write-offs if I won. Fortunately, I did not win.
And
Yeah, why you're here.
it's $60 bill.
So it would be 2 votes, one for the construction phase agreement with Ty and Bond, and one for the authorization to award the contract.
All right, I'll entertain the first motion for Ty and Bond.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay. Opposed? Carried. Okay, Winston Builders?
Winston Builders select.
Yeah. That damn motion,
So move.
like I said, okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
You got black gold in the well, you got white gold in the water.
Great.
Mom.
Hard to live without either one of them.
Oh, look at the whole course. Well, moving down south.
We're at 9 o'clock today. This morning I'm gonna be over H Street for the sub bids. Then we have to, an opening hot date. It's basically, we have our dates for sub bids in early October and mid-October. It's for the vote for East Street. Moving forward with East Street, just as fast as moving with Worcester Street. Everything there is looking is good. I don't see any issues as of right now, but if we find any, we'll definitely update you guys on that. Other than that, I think our next meeting is really all going to block. I don't think I left anything on the table, Matt, did I?
Yeah, just one other thing I'm sure the public would like to know. Did speak to the contractor if we do award it, well, we just did award it to Winston. He's looking at obviously having to submit everything to the town to get the building permit. This winter, he will most likely do his silt fence land clearing, and he's probably going to start early spring, depending on the weather. So that's his tentative schedule right now. So
Let's hope for a mild winter.
Yeah.
All right, that's it?
Yeah.
All right, next meeting, Wednesday, October 8th. I may not need it. You can have everybody talking something. Wednesday, October 8th. Right, what? Should be good. Yeah.
Would it be easy to send us like an invite, you guys, put on your calendar for the next 12 months, just let me clear out. Like when you got somebody invite.
I mean, I'm already on that.
I just put mine here.
Great.
Great, motion to adjourn.
Don't move.
All right, we're in favor. See you next month.